Okay, pattern printing part. It's not very like common one, but think of it and let me know how it can be done. Because if I see the like whole thing, how the questions are coming, there are questions regarding the pattern, there are questions regarding the functions, there are questions. You can, if you want, you can have a note of the topic if you want something to be revised. Okay, so there are questions from patterns, there are questions from arrays, there are questions from strings, pointers, like that. Okay, so basically for loop, if else condition, arrays, if we know, we can solve any of the question. So here the pattern is C B A B C D C B A B C D. Here the value of n is given as 4. Quickly, just, and what you guys are supposed to do is just see the question has been posted. Now you have to try out the question and post the answer in the chat box. Okay, whichever language you are fine with, you can post the answers in, and then I will explain the same to all of you. So I hope the question is, my screen is visible. Try it out and let me know how can we do the question. Yes, everyone. Just see the question. Any of the language is fine. Post your answers in the chat box. Is my screen visible? Are we trying, guys? I'll give you some time so that you can think of it, and later I will start with it. I hope my voice is coming properly and my screen is visible too. Mhm. Okay, done. No issues. Try it out. And whoever is done, quickly just post the answer. Meanwhile, it's not like I'll not be providing the hint and I'll be keep on giving regarding the questions, whatever I'm taking. See, student, whenever any of the question regarding the pattern is there, what we need to do, we have to recall the base pattern of the question. So, if you are able to notice, basically, this pattern came from a pyramid, right? There's a pyramid pattern. So, just think for that. What is that? In first row, 1 star will be printed. In second row, 3 stars will be printed. In third row, 5 stars will be printed. In next row, some 7 stars will be printed. So basically, the base pattern of the above pattern is this one. If you know the logic of the yes, just recall the okay. Anyone done? Yes, anyone who's done?
Yes.
Okay, just post the answer in the chat box, please. Okay, I got it. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, there are so many people joining and leaving, so it went up. I did not notice. Yes, yes, got it. Okay. Sanjana, you have shared for star. No. Okay, alphabets, don't know. Fine, 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 not an issue. I'll discuss it. Someone else shared? I think no one. If you are done, you can share your answer over here. I think one student said yes. Can you just post the answer here? Oh, my voice is not audible. Is it so? Okay, now it's fine, I feel. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, that's fine, that's fine. I'll take care of it. Yeah. Students, see, whenever I'll be providing a question, don't waste too much time. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's good. Okay, 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 that's fine. I'll take care of it. That it's properly well. What about others? Anyone done with the question? Yes, anyone done with the question? Mm-hmm. No. Okay. Guys, what I will do is I'll help you out with the logic of star first. Okay. And then if you are able to understand this thing, like how star pattern is printing, for sure you'll be able to get the alphabet one. And here one student posted it. Language doesn't matter. In any of the language, you should just listen to the logic. If it's fine to you, in any of the language, you can type the code, right? So I'll be taking frequently use someone use C, some C++, Java also. So I'll take all, like for some question I'll take Java, for some question I'll take Python, some question I'll take C, C++, like that. Okay. So in whichever language you want, you can post your answers. So if this is the thing, right? So this is the question which has been asked us to print for. First, I'm talking about the star pattern. Some of you won't be aware of it. That's what I'm saying. So here, if you notice this pattern, whenever I talk about the pattern printing, you have to remember what and all task we have to do for in the pattern. So when I'll see this pattern, I'm able to see that my first task is to change the number of row. Done. When I came to the first row, what is the task to me? Can I print the star directly? No, I cannot print. I have to print the spaces. So after printing two spaces, I have to print the star. So when I came to a row number, there my task is like directly I cannot print the star. In the after coming into the row, the first task which comes to me is I have to print the space. After printing the spaces, the third task to me is to print the star. Correct? These are the things I have to do. The row, after coming into the row, I have to print the space. After printing the spaces, I have to print the star. Okay, that's fine. So firstly, if I talk about the loop of the row, so it will work like I equal to 0 if I'm starting from 1, or if you are starting from 0, both are fine. If I'm starting I value from 1, it will run until n. N will be given to you, that is 3. If n is 3 means 3 rows will be printed. Done. So my first loop for row will be this. I equal to 1 to I equal to n. Correct? N time it will run, and number of time. N is 3, so 3 times it will change the row. Done with it. After coming into the row, the next task that comes to me is nothing but to print the spaces. Okay. Now, when I have to print the spaces, you are able to see first row 2 space, second row 1 space, third row 0 space, right? If total number of rows are 3. Now, if you will notice this pattern which I have given to you, so you just notice it here. When you are printing this pattern in the first row, how many spaces are getting printed? In the first row, the number of spaces are, I'll just mention it like this so that you can understand. Yes, see, in the first row, the number of spaces are 3. In the second row, the number of spaces are 2. The third row number of spaces are 1. And last, it is 0. Last row, it is 0. Fourth row, it is 0. Okay. So if this is the thing, how is the relation of number of rows and number of spaces? That you have to think. So if you will think about it very properly, you'll be able to understand if n number of rows are there. Basically, the number of spaces are getting printed as n minus I. What is the meaning of n minus I? If n value is 4, I means, suppose I'm starting the loop from n minus I minus 1 is also fine. That is also fine. If you are starting from 0, that will also work. But this will also be okay. Just see, initially the I value is 1 as I have taken the loop. So I value is 1. When my I value is, what I need to do? 4 total number of rows, I is 1. So how many times the loop will run? 3 times. So 3 spaces will be printed. When my I value will be 2, 4 minus 2, so 2 times the loop will run, 2 times the space will be printed. When my I value will be 1, when my I value will be 3, 4 minus 3, 1 time space will be printed. When I'll be on the fourth row, I value will be 4. When I value is 4, at that time, 0 spaces will be printed. So if you'll put this logic there, n minus I minus 1 is also fine, n minus I is also fine. So I will say it here as, when I talk about the, okay, once again from n minus I. So what I'm saying is, what is the relation between number of row and number of spaces? So relation between number of row and number of spaces is this. How I get to know? So if you, first you have to think how it will. So when I thought of it, I get to know this is the thing. See, once you have done a particular pattern, you yourself will remember that for pyramid pattern, for space printing, the condition was n minus I or n minus I minus 1. So you will remember it. So next time you don't need to check it what I have to put. That's why I have done here. I value n minus I. When I said n minus I, I'll check whether it works or not. N value is 4. Correct? Total number of rows are, n value is 4. Total number of rows are 4. What is the first row value? So I have started my row number from 1. That is why I'm saying 4 minus I value is 1. So 4 minus 1 equal to 3. 3 means what? This here, this is my space loop. I am naming it as K. So I'll start my K loop. I'll come back to the same place again. If K loop I'm starting from 1, K less than or equal to n minus I. Yes, yes. That correct. If you are starting I from 0, then n minus I minus 1. And if you are starting this thing, K loop is my space loop, from 1, then I'll put this condition. And I will say K plus plus. Different type of instead of, yes. Different type of loop. Yes, you can use 2 different type of loop. That's not an issue. You can use for while also. While for top, you can put the while, the for. That is possible. That's not an issue. Only it should work well. Like it shouldn't happen at some point of time. It is conflicting. That should not happen. Else you can use while for anything. Why I'm taking the for? Because here it's easy to see how the value is increasing or decreasing. That's what the reason is. No problem. You can use any loop. Don't use the do while. While or for, both you can use here. So if I talk about this thing, see, K value you are starting from 1, right? So when you will start from 1, this K loop, space loop will run how many times? Already you have seen in the previous slide, when I value is 1, the loop is running 4 minus 1. Means if it is 3, see, your condition will become over here. Your condition will become like, you will say 1 less than or equal to n minus I. So n minus I is what? N is what? 4 minus 1. 4, because I value is 1 initially. So 3. So loop will run how many times? 1 less than or equal to 3 means what? 3 times. Correct? How? 1 also condition will be true. 2 also condition will be true. 3 also condition will be true. 3 less than or equal to 3. So loop will run how many times? 3 times. If the loop is running how many times? What it should do? You will use Cout, whatever you want. I'm just writing it in Cout. So I'll say Cout what? Spaces. Done with it. So loop will run 3 times and 3 times it will print the space. So what will happen basically? I equal to 1, you came to the first row. When you came to the first row, there what you will do? I value became 1. Yes, I can use compiler. I'll use the compiler. Don't worry. That code which I have said you know, that one, the character related, alphabet related, that I'll do in compiler. Don't worry. I'll use the compiler. Sure. Okay. So here, K value n minus I equal to 2. No, how n minus I equal to 2 will be? If, yes, here in this case, correct. If you are seeing this, so sorry. So I was 4 rows. N minus I will be 2. So n minus I 2 means the loop will run for 2 times. 2 times means 2 times spaces will be printed for this star pattern. Right. So 2 times space will be printed. When 2 times space printed, come out. And after you are done with the space, what you need to do? You have to print what? Stars. So if you have to print the star, now you'll find out what is the relation between star and number of row. So when I checked what is the relation between star and number of row, I get to know that first row, where at that time, how many stars are getting printed? 1 star. Correct? When my I value is 2, then how many stars are getting printed? 3 stars. When my I value is star, relation between I number of stars. Correct? So how is the relation? What can we say? One of the student has already posted it in the group solution, if you'll see. So basically the relation is row 1 star, second row 3 star. I can make the relation as 2 into I minus 1. If I 1 will be 1, 1 minus 1 will, 2 into 1 will be 2, 2 minus 1 will be 1. So basically 1 time. If I value is 2, second row, So if I value is 2, 2 into 2, 4. Correct. Second row I'm talking about. Correct. Correct. So 2 into 2, 4. And 4 minus 1, 3. So loop will run 3 times. So here we will put the for loop condition as correct. Correct. That is perfectly right. So here we will put the condition as, suppose this loop name I'm providing as J. So J loop start from 1. It will run until which place? So J will run until less than or equal to 2 into I. Okay. 2 into I. You will put it inside the bracket, then say minus 1. And it will run until J plus plus. Okay. So this loop's task is what? That you have to decide. I already know my J loop's task is nothing but to print the star. So inside I will say what? I'll do it as Cout and star. Done. So here it will print the star. Now, what I have done till now,
technique.
I have done till now as I came to the first row. After coming into the first row, printed, guys, whoever is joining, make sure we have kept ourselves on mute. If you have any query, any doubt, post it in the chat box. I'll respond for sure. Okay? Yeah. So if this is the thing, what I have done till now is I came to the first row. After coming into the first row, I printed 2 spaces because K loop run 2 twice. So 2 spaces I have printed. After printing these 2 spaces, I came out of the K loop. 3 loops. 3 loops only. 3 tasks, 3 number of loop. Else you can use the if else condition also. That is also fine. That's also not an issue. But its exact complexity will be approx similar only. Because if condition will be checked that many times, that will run like. So here also it will work for same complexity. No issues regarding. Okay. So 3 loops only. The first loop for row, second loop for spaces, third loop for star. That's it. The task has been done. So 2 times this loop will run. It will print 2 spaces. Now this loop will run how many times when I value is 1? When I is 1, this star loop will run for 1 time. So it will print 1 space, 1 star. 1 star printed, come out of it. Once you are done with this whole line, space, star, then what need to be done? After coming out of the J loop, you have to print new. You have to do the new line. Once you have done this new line thing, just go back to I++ and again start with the second loop. So when you start with the second loop, I value will become what? 2 this time. When your I is 2, K condition will be different, J condition will be different, like that. So first tell me one thing, is this star pattern is clear to all of you or not? And then I'll take you to that particular pattern which I have asked you, the character one. That also I'll explain. I'll explain that one in the compiler itself. Okay, perfectly fine. That is clear. Okay. Okay. To one student is not clear. So you don't worry. Again, I'll be explaining the same thing for the character also. Okay. So there you can listen it once. 65 plus I. Yes, 65 plus I. That is right. That's not wrong. But you have to decide directly. You cannot do it as. Guys, everyone just come back to it and have a look at the question when you have to print it. So what I'm saying, firstly, you have to recall the base pattern. What was the base pattern was? In second row, we have to print star. We have done with space. See, in the second row, first we have to print the space, na? In the second row here, one student asking regarding it. So when you came to the second row, there first you have to print the space. After printing the space, you are printing 3 star. In the third row, your space condition, see how it will be n minus I. N is what? 3. I value is what? Third row means 3. 3 minus 3. So 1 less than or equal to 3 you will check. When you will check 1 less than or equal to 3, condition will be false. And when the condition is false, you won't print any space. So that is why for the third row, no